Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Drew to smash back at you with Season 3, Week 4 action of Buffs Dynasty. Thanks for tuning in today. Again, real quick, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, we'd love to keep growing as a community and build that loyal Stampeders fan base, baby. But with that, let's get into the episode today. So we are 3 weeks into the season. We currently are 3-0. We moved up to the 20th ranked team in the country after our victory over Oklahoma State. But with that, let's start taking a look at what's going on around the country. So we'll start first with North Carolina being ranked number 1, our defending national champions. Now at number 1, getting ready to take on Clemson this week. You have Ohio State at 2, Syracuse 3, Penn State 4, Miami 5, Georgia 6, Florida at 7, Washington at 8, USC at 9, TCU at 10, Bama at 11, Michigan at 12, like we mentioned in the last episode. Huge upset for the UNLV Rebels beating Michigan. You got Ole Miss at 13, K-State at 14, Oregon at 15, Mississippi State 16, Georgia Tech at 17, Notre Dame at 18, Michigan State at 19, your Colorado Buffs at 20, UCF at 21, Stanford at 22, NC State 23, Texas A&M 24 after their loss to Bama, and then Rice sitting there at 25. Your other schools receiving votes: BYU, UNLV, obviously after the huge upset, Arkansas, Louisiana, Louisville, Auburn, East Carolina, and LSU, with Auburn dropping out. As far as the early kind of conference pictures look, you got USC and Arizona top the South, with Arizona, Utah, and UCLA already having a loss. We have yet to play conference games, so we will see how that transpires as we'll kick off our conference part of the season next week, as we will take on the Trojans, which will have huge Pac-12 South implications. There's zero doubt about that, and we need to play well, as well as Arizona still could be there. As far as the North goes, you got the Stanford Cardinal at 22. You got Washington State there and Oregon. All three of those schools have won. Washington yet to play in the Pac-12. Then you got Cal and Oregon State, both with a loss already. So, and then, yeah, we're not going to look at any other conferences. It's not really important. But let's dive into the Heisman watch so far. And Lou Nichols III is just incredible. Against Michigan State in a losing effort, had 26 carries, 157 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You got Christian Villiao of Penn State. Had a great game against UCF. You got Will Rogers, quarterback at Mississippi State, still performing quite well. You got Jamarian Miller, the running back at Alabama. He must be like he's a real life player, actually. 29 carries, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's a great game by him in a win over Texas A&M. Then you got Branson Robinson, who had a great game for Georgia against, again, FCS opponent to be expected. But I do want to check out toughest place to play. Where's Folsom Field fall at? We're number 18. Let's go. 18. Folsom Field, baby. Let's go. Like to see that. Um, Real quick, we'll take a look at the season stats so far. So you got Tyrone Moses, third in the country in passing yards. Rushing yards wise, Moses is leading our team with 205 yards. Again, that's mostly because Trey House is out for 2 weeks. He was out 4 weeks in total after his injury. Receiving wise, Dawson sitting at fourth in the country. Tackles wise, you got Smith and Dixon both there with 14. Sacks, you got Mike or Matt Miller, I forget what it is, but he's got 2 sacks, the D tackle, and then Oliver has the 1 pick so far for us. And kicking wise, Long, Becker's at 8th with his 51-yarder. And then with that, the favorite part of everybody's favorite part of this episode is let's get into what's going on in recruiting and give you guys the deep dive of what's going on. So we'll start first. We have Adam Kelly, 6 foot, 253-pound linebacker out of Indiana, Pennsylvania, 3-star. Good speed, good strength, as well as just overall, just a real solid linebacker with a lot of developmental upside, in my opinion. We currently are in the lead with him, scholarship offered, and things are looking great for Adam Kelly as we move forward in his recruitment. Next, we move to Tim Dockery, a 6'5", 235-pound outside linebacker out of Spanish Lake, Missouri, 3-star. Again, really good athlete. Does well as far as rushing the passer, getting off blocks. Does need to develop more, but things are looking good for Tim, and I think he could definitely be a good player for us. Next, we get to Corey Myrick, wide receiver out of Welcome, South Carolina, 4-star. Good speed, good catching. Just an overall, very much just an overall good wide receiver. Nothing spectacular, but nothing, obviously he's not going to be a burner out there, but he's going to be your possession guy. Come in, has the ability to make some big plays, but he's just going to be captain consistency. So that's what we like about Mr. Myrick there. Next, we get into Luke Johnson, a 5'11", 200-pound running back out of Selden, New Jersey, or not New Jersey, New York. And he is a straight burner, 96 speed, good acceleration, good agility. Definitely want to crank those numbers up, but is a very elusive back, has a good stiff arm, but he's going to make you miss and try and break those runs all day for touchdowns. So quite the little gem that we found here in Luke Johnson. So his recruitment's going extremely well. Next, we get into TJ King, a 6'8", 312-pound tackle out of Oakland Park, Florida. Looks to be very much a left tackle. Love the size. Love the size of this guy mostly. Big tackle, good strength, and mostly just a good overall left tackle. Definitely somebody we could look to build around and develop to be possibly an NFL guy. Then we get into Ricky Bernard, a 6'3", 321-pound tackle out of Santa Ana, California, 3-star prospect. For Ricky, he's definitely going to more so transition either into a center or a guard for us. Needs to get stronger for sure, but height, weight, the speed, his ability to move we like, and I think it's going to translate better at the guard position for him long term wise as opposed to tackle. So that's why we're looking to bring him in, and we're currently battling Stanford for him. Next, we get into Gary Scott out of Woodward, Oklahoma. 3-star guard, 6'7", 301 pounds, massive guard. Does have the possibility of moving out to tackle, but do like him at guard as of right now. Um, Great run blocker, needs to still get stronger in the weight room. But yeah, we're in a huge battle with a lot of schools for him. So we'll have to wait and see how that kind of plays out here, so to speak. We do have him set for a visit in week 5, which will be next week against USC. So huge visit for him, and hopefully we can pull off a great visit with him on campus. Next, we move into Chris Stewart, 6'5", 255-pound defensive end out of Santa Ana, California. And this guy is just the all-around real deal. Good speed, good strength, great technically. We're battling Michigan for him. So, definitely a guy we would love to bring in and get going on our defensive line with J.J. McDonald and have kind of that possibility shape up here in the future. Next, we get into Travis Nichols from El Toro, California, 4-star defensive end. Again, great speed, strength, very technically sound, very balanced. And yeah, he's just overall a great player. He'll be coming on a visit against USC as well. Sorry about that. So yeah, we're excited about getting him on campus next week and showing him what we're all about. Next, we get into Charles Merville, 6'4", 291 D tackle out of Crete, Nebraska. If any of you know where Crete, Nebraska is, I personally do. But yeah, if you know where Crete, Nebraska is, put a thumbs up on the video, because that is it's a very small town. We'll leave it at that. But this guy, great power rusher, does need to work on his strength some more, but we know that at the Buffs strength and conditioning coach is top notch. So we have no doubt about that, but he's a very good D tackle that we're competing with our rival Nebraska on, so hopefully we can win him and bring him in. Next, we get to Anthony Moore, 5'11", 175 pounds, out of Kingman, Arizona. Guy's just a great corner. Does have the possibility to move to free safety for us, just since he isn't the fastest player, and could be a very good hybrid safety for us. But we really like what we see with him, and think he could still grow and help be a part of that great back end cornerback room that we're building with Morris Newell and Craig Williams, and adding Anthony Moore to that would be a huge bonus. Next, we get into Josh Thomas, a 6'3", 275-pound D tackle out of Buena Park, California. Again, very much a very good technical D tackle. Again, be a depth piece for us for a little bit, but again, would be just a great player for us, I believe, in the long term of our dynasty, and start to get some reps in when we go to our dime package, as well as being able to provide some inside pass rush. Next, we get to 6'3", 244-pound linebacker out of Duncan, Oklahoma, Colin Long. Great speed, sure tackler. Just again, does everything very well. And I think having him as our future in the middle of our defense is going to be huge. And we're battling the Air Force Academy for him. So clearly he wants to come to the state of Colorado, but we just need to make sure we win that. Next, we get into Mark Williams, 6'5", 229, bust, might I add. But the reason we're still recruiting him, even though he's a bust, is the athletic profile that he displays, and I think he could still develop into a really good player. We're battling, he's from Cushing, Oklahoma, but we're still battling Hawaii for him, but I think he's definitely has that upside that we're looking for. Next, we get to tight end Zach Neal, 6'2", 242 out of South Glen, Colorado. Sixth ranked tight end in the class. Great speed, good enough blocker. Um, does need to work on his catching, but uh, smaller tight end, but I think his athleticism's going to more than make up for it at that position for us. Next, we get to Travis Collins, 6'6", 275-pound athlete out of Townsend, Maryland. Not quite sure with him, honestly. He does look like he's got a little bit of a big tight end build. However, his speed is not great and he's very strong. So I'd imagine where Travis fits in is either D tackle or possibly even defensive end for us. But we'll have to wait and see. Possibly O line as well. But yeah, we'll wait and see kind of what happens here. So Alabama also in on him. All right, I'd hinted at this in an earlier episode. Who's the guy that you need to know that we're recruiting? His name's Richard Romero, 6'6", 218, five-star athlete out of Opelousas, Louisiana. And this guy has 92 speed, 93 jumping, great catching, could be an unreal wide receiver for us. But even more so, he could possibly play fucking quarterback. 80 speed, 84 or 80 throw accuracy, 84. My God, I can't speak anymore. 80 throw power, 84 accuracy. You see it on the screen there, obviously. We're in a big time recruiting battle for this guy against Texas Tech and Washington State. I want this guy so bad. I mean, even if he doesn't play quarterback for us like him at wide receiver, is going to be a game changer for our offense with that type of size speed. Like that's a Calvin Johnson esque. Um, and yeah, we gotta get him. We gotta find a way. That's all there needs to be said. And then lastly, the rest of the guys are just kind of guys that we're watching. But this will wrap up the main guy that we're going to focus on for today's video. Again, you'll get more recruiting stuff later on. Jonathan Hills, 6'2", 175-pound, five-star athlete out of Lakewood, Ohio. This guy is a great athlete, great speed, acceleration, agility, can tackle, can play some coverage. He looks like a safety and or a wide receiver based on his skill sets there. So, and possibly even a running back. You know, I would personally say he's going to be a safety or a wide receiver for us specifically. I like the possibility of either or, frankly, for us. But Jonathan Hills is somebody that we would love to bring in as well. So then lastly, we're just going to quickly scroll through the recruiting board so you guys can see the names, possibly get familiar with some guys we may be targeting down the line here. But yeah, that is going to be all that we have for you today in week 4. So with that being said, make sure you tune in to the next episode. The next episode is going to be a massive one. We take on the USC Trojans at Folsom, and it's going to be a huge game, lots of ramifications. It's early in the season, but It's going to have big implications on our Pac-12 South. Um, Possibilities of playing for a conference championship, also possibly a college football playoff, and which in turn actually has to deal with the Pac-12 championship, I guess. So the college football playoff, the Pac-12 championship, a little bit of everything. It's gonna be a huge game here early in the season, so we gotta come ready to play and get after it. So with that, make sure you do not miss that game. I'm telling you, it's going to be a wild one, especially after how last season's game ended with Tyrone Moses' fumble, which, thank you for pointing it out in the comments. I blatantly missed a receiver and we lost the game. But nonetheless, it's going to be a game you don't want to miss. Tune in tomorrow to see it. This is Drew Smash signing off. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.